What is up, guys? For this video I want to show you guys the new truck that I picked up. So I sold the black truck a few weeks ago shortly after buying this new truck. I wasn't really in the market to buy a new truck or anything, but a deal came up on this thing that I just could not pass up. My uncle was selling it because they wanted something more fuel efficient to replace it with, basically because they didn't need the truck anymore, and it was just too good of an offer. I paid $2,500 for the thing. Let's go outside. I will give you guys a quick little walk around and show you guys the truck. So here it is. This is a 2005 Ford F-250. It's got the 5.4 liter Triton spark plug destroyer and automatic transmission, four-wheel drive with manual locking hubs up front, limited slip in the rear. This is a single cab 8-foot bed truck, so this is a small cab with obviously the big bed. This truck appears to have maybe a factory option, like 1-inch lift on it or something. I'm not really sure. Maybe somebody can confirm this, but it's got 1-inch blocks, like steel ones, with an extended bump stop on the rear axle, and the front looks like it sits a little bit high. So maybe somebody can confirm whether or not this is factory, like stock ride height, and they're all like this, or if this is some four-wheel drive option that they've added to it. But going around the truck, as you can see, it's got its fair amount of rust, being a 15-year-old truck from Ohio, especially down here on the rockers and the cab corners. And then there's some damage here on the bed. I guess somebody hit a tree with it or something in the woods or whatever, because they used to use this thing. They would cut trees down, and I guess they use it to haul firewood and stuff out in the woods and whatnot. So that is where this came from. You also notice the front bumper is a little bit tweaked, I'm assuming from a similar incident. This truck used to have steps on it also, and I removed this one. The other one was already missing when I got the truck. Otherwise I would have probably left both of them on, but the one was missing and I didn't like it looking lopsided, so I removed the other one. You'll also notice that I added a side exit exhaust to it because the old muffler was totally blown out and I didn't feel like dealing with the factory exhaust, so I just put a side dump on it. It's a lot easier and cheaper, and it'll be a lot easier to service in the future. It's actually got the old thrush that I had on the Turbo Dakota on the back of it here, and it's also got a turn down on it that I intended to use on the Dakota as well. Alright, sorry, there was a lot of noisy equipment driving by there for a second. This truck has 17-inch alloy wheels, all-terrain tires. I don't really know what size they look like, 29s or 30s, but I honestly don't know. The truck does have mud flaps. There's more rust on the wheel arch there. It does have a factory trailer brake setup, and it's got a 7-plug and a 4-plug outlet on the back for a trailer, even though I can't open this one because somebody hit it and smashed it up, so I'll have to either pull that down or replace it because this thing looks kind of nasty inside. One of these did. Maybe it was this one that looked kind of gross, but I'll try and clean it, maybe see if I can get it to, you know, not be smashed all the way up, but we'll see. Obviously it has a receiver on the back here so I can pull trailers with. When I got this thing, it had a bunch of like tree bark and stuff all over the inside of it, as you can kind of see where the stuff was sitting because it was trapping moisture because I hadn't cleaned it out. The floor for some reason is really wavy in the bed. I don't really know why. I'm assuming just from a lot of weight being put in it, or maybe that's how these are, but I've never noticed one of these trucks having this. It does have a 5th wheel in the back, and unfortunately it's seized up, so I can't take it out to free up space in the bed, so it's just kind of stuck there. I'll probably just end up completely removing it for a while because I don't have access to a 5th wheel trailer anyway, and I'll just hang on to it in case I do. That way I can just bolt it back on and use it if I need to. The bed was lined, which is unfortunate. This bed is in as rough a shape as it is because it is a professional bed liner job that was done to it. And it's also got these things which are pretty neat, little tie down hooks, really thick steel, like strap down hooks for stuff, so those are pretty cool to have. If I do end up getting another bed or something, I'm definitely keeping these and sticking them on the new bed. Got significantly less rust, but there's still some there. It's, like I said, it's still a 15-year-old truck that spent its whole life in Ohio. And gas tank has ratchet straps holding up. I guess the strap back here snapped. It's actually still there, but it is broken, so I need to get new gas tank straps, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So that's one of the few things that I will have to fix on this thing before I start going too crazy with it. Let's see if we can get down here and I can show you guys those lift blocks that I've discovered. Oh, it's really dark. There it is. So it's a steel block, and it looks like it's been on here for a very long time, so I'm assuming it's either a dealer added option or it was a factory option for the truck as maybe part of an off-road package. I'm not sure. The truck definitely looks like it sits a little bit higher than normal, so like I said, if anybody knows whether this thing could potentially have like a factory 1-inch lift on it or something, I would love to know. This thing is a 250, so it's got the heavier leaf springs, and it definitely rides pretty rough because of them, but you know, this is the XLT trim package, so it does have stuff like power windows and power locks, keyless entry, has air conditioning, cruise control. Four-wheel drive is on a switch rather than being on the floor. The lockers are manual, as I showed you guys already. I also have some power mirrors. This interior is very nice and roomy and very quiet inside also. Even with like the side dump on it, I was concerned about it droning and making a bunch of noise in the cabin, but it actually doesn't. I can hardly hear it. The only thing I can hear from in here is the exhaust leak tick from the passenger side exhaust manifold. One of the well, I guess it's actually from the catalytic converter, which is part of the Y pipe below the exhaust manifold, but it needs to be welded back up because it's like cracked and separated a little bit, so it ticks. But that's one of the other few things that I need to fix on this thing, which won't be a big deal, but the studs are seized up, so I can't get the Y pipe off to fix it correctly. I got cloth seats, vinyl floor or plastic floor, whatever you want to call it. This is like the washout floor that it's just plastic, so it's not carpet, where it's a lot easier to clean it, and it should be a lot more durable than carpet also, and it won't hold smells as badly, so if I spill something in here, it's not like it's gonna stink the whole truck up for months and months. It'll just wipe it out and be done with it pretty much. This truck has a total of 4 cup holders, which I'm pretty excited about. I'm used to having cars that give you 1 cup holder located directly in front of or behind your shifter. So I have these 2 cup holders here, and I have these 2 up here in the dashboard, which I can't open when I'm using this thing because it sits, you know, right here in front of them. I have to have that thing because the radio only has a CD player, doesn't have a cassette player that I can stick an adapter in, or have an auxiliary input, even though it has a button that says auxiliary on it. So I don't know what's going on with that. Apparently there's kits you can wire into these radios that lets you input an auxiliary, that lets you add an auxiliary input to them, but I'm not going to mess with them. I'm just going to put an aftermarket radio in here at some point. But for now, I'm using this thing. It works. It was cheap and easy. You just plug the thing in and connect your phone to it through Bluetooth, and that's it. Both of these power outlets are on constantly. They don't turn off when the truck turns off, so I have to remember to unplug that thing every time I shut the truck off. Otherwise, it could potentially drain the battery. This truck used to have a CB radio in it. As you can see here, it's got a little holster on it there, and I'll probably just leave it there. Everything in here works. There's nothing that really doesn't work. This thing is broken, so I guess that doesn't work, but it's kind of convenient to stick stuff in there anyway, so I'll probably just leave it like that for a long time. And I haven't been able to find an 05 or newer truck in a junkyard yet, so I haven't been able to find a replacement for that. The only other damage to the interior is driver's seats pretty worn out, which of course is from people sliding in and out of the truck, because it's just kind of what happens with trucks. Since they sit high enough, you end up sliding out of the seats instead of getting yourself up out of the seats. And it's been pretty much a pretty good look around the truck. Like I said, paid $2,500 for this thing. I wasn't really in the market for a new truck, but it was way too good of a deal for me to pass up. I will probably not find another deal like this for a very long time, if ever, on a full-size pickup truck like this thing is. I plan on having this thing for a very long time. It only has 107,000 miles on it, so it's got a lot of life left to go. There are a couple little things I need to fix, some of which I did mention, which are the gas tank straps need to be replaced. I need to fix the exhaust leak at the catalytic converters. I just need to weld around them, but since it's on the bottom of the cat, I tried welding them with them on the truck, and the welder, because it's a cheap flex core welder, was just not having it. It was dropping metal balls all over me and burning my arms and stuff, so I just left it. I'll probably have to take it to a shop and have them replace my studs so that I can have studs that aren't seized up on it, and then I can bring it back and drop the Y pipe out, weld it, fix it, and have that taken care of. I do want to replace the brakes on all 4 corners, but I think the rears are down to a squealer potentially because they make a lot of noise. That's really just about it. There's not that much else that I need to do to this thing. I could fix some of the rust on it, but I probably won't for a long time because I plan on driving it year-round. It's going to be my daily driver for a long time. This thing gets really bad gas mileage. It's like the only downside to driving this thing is it's pretty comfortable. It's a little bit bouncy because it's got the big leaf springs in the back, but overall it's comfortable, it's quiet, has air conditioning and heat, so everything works. It's got a decent sounding radio, and I finally have something that can pull a car trailer without struggling, so that's going to be a huge advantage, especially because I do have to tow my Dakota here at some point, the turbo one. I still have the turbo one. Obviously I sold the black Dakota that I was dailying before I picked this thing up. Yeah, that's been a little walk around of my new F-250. Hope you guys have enjoyed. I will have a video coming soon for you guys giving you an update on the Dakota and also on the Monte Carlo. The Monte Carlo is nearly finished, and once that car is finished, I'll be bringing the Dakota back here. We'll be fixing it because it is not running at the moment, and then just trying to make more power with it, getting back to the usual working on the Dakota thing. So that's going to be the end of the video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys later.